in our country, when you tell Kenyans close to 2 billion was used to construct some white elephants that have not been put into use, then even the anger and the outrage is just fueled, Madam Speaker, which is a very sad situation, Madam Speaker. And it gets justified. You now get justification for the anger that is out there, for public resources that we cannot show what good use they were put in, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I began by saying we had a chance as the devolution committee to visit Tharaka Nithi. And Madam Speaker, it's a sorry state of affairs in Tharaka Nithi. The county headquarters have not even started, apart from digging off the foundation. The county assembly headquarters, the building for the county government is also not completed, Madam Speaker. And so the county assembly, Madam Speaker, in some mabati structure, and what they use as a lounge is they do operate under trees. It's a very sad affair, Madam Speaker, very shameful and unfortunate, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, but the issues that we came across when we visited Tharaka Nithi is that there were audit queries. EACC is handling the case, and so once the case is with EACC, then there is a back and forth communication and accusations and counter accusations, and the project has then not been able to take off to date, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, and that brings me to another issue that we have. If we were to do an assessment and take stock of the many projects that have audit queries, that now have EACC files and EACC trying to handle them, Madam Speaker, or even EACC has completed but has not given a go-ahead for the counties to complete, Madam Speaker, across the country, there are so many projects, Madam Speaker. And this House may need to take stock, because EACC cannot also now become an impediment for the transformation that we want across the country. They can do their investigation, but we cannot have open-ended investigations that are never concluded. They must be concluded, and there must be a way to salvage the projects, Madam Speaker, so that they are then completed and put into good use, Madam Speaker. In Kajiado County, Madam Speaker, I saw there was a library that has been for a long time pending a dormitory in a school called Olkejuado High School. Several projects, Madam Speaker, that have not been completed because they have audit queries or EACC is handling the matter. EACC cannot be, a situation in perpetuity that cannot end, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, EACC is there to investigate, get reports, and get court cases going on, Madam Speaker. But they don't. They don't, Madam Speaker. And so, EACC has also turned out to become another monster in the country. It is not possible that we have problems in every institution, so this institution creates problems into this other institution, and then now we get into a vicious circle, Madam Speaker, of non-compliance, non-completion, and, Madam Speaker, public resources continues to get wasted, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, and so I would urge this House that we take stock of the many projects that are pending in our counties, because EACC has, stalled the projects because of queries that are open-ended and cannot be completed, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, the majority leader has spoken, and it is true, about wastage in this country, Madam Speaker. And this is one of the issues that the young demonstrators have mentioned over and over again, about wastage of public resources, Madam Speaker. But, Madam Speaker, I will tell you something else that is annoying Kenyans. Madam Speaker, and I hope this will go to the ears of those, of all the decision makers in this country, this House included, the National Assembly included, the Presidency included, Madam Speaker. We must all listen because, Madam Speaker, one of the other things that is becoming a time bomb in this country, and I know I have said it in the floor of this House severally, and I will continue saying it, because even if it won't help in anything, Madam Speaker, at least I will have satisfied myself that I said it. Madam Speaker, the inequalities in this country, is a time bomb, Madam Speaker. It's a time bomb. It makes me sad every day to imagine that a Kenyan can have qualifications but may never get to see into a certain office just because of the ethnic tag, Madam Speaker. I remember one time we left the National Assembly as a caucus from those of us from our counties, and we went to lobby and to make a case for a person who was a deputy governor of Central Bank then. And we believed he had all the qualifications, and the international markets were rating him well, Madam Speaker. And the country, and I mean, there was no reason why he would not have risen to be a governor of Central Bank. But he couldn't. He couldn't, of course. It couldn't be allowed. He cannot, because he comes from a minority community, and so the minorities will continue to get marginalized. It is annoying, Madam Speaker, and no wonder, just no wonder, the young generation that is calling themselves tribalists will send all of us packing, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, whenever I use the roads going to our home, Madam Speaker, it saddens me. You know, I can see my neighbor, Senator Agnes, the good senator for Machakos, is smiling because she knows this is a story I say every day. It's annoying. It's annoying, Madam Speaker, that we have no roads, but we are the closest to Nairobi. Madam Speaker, from my home, I take like 3 hours to reach Nairobi. Yet, it's a place that would actually be 20-30 minutes drive if our roads were good. The other day when we had the cabinet secretary around the Senate, when he was coming to answer questions, unfortunately for me, he didn't get a chance to respond to my questions before the dissolution of cabinet. I actually went to beg him. And I told him, right now, we are even begging, even just for Maram. And if you cannot do Maram, we are even begging for just grading. Because we don't have roads. And this is across the county, Madam Speaker. And it's not just Kajiado County. I know those counties in the north that have problems of insecurities. One of the major contributors is the lack of infrastructure, Madam Speaker. The lack of necessary infrastructure, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, whereas in some other counties, Madam Speaker, there are tarmac roads. Everybody will leave Nairobi in the evening, go home, come tomorrow morning. They'll have taken care of their cows. They'll have taken care of their chicken. They'll have seen their old parents, and they come back home. They come back to Nairobi, do the job, go back home. in the luxury and comfort of their vehicles and good roads, Madam Speaker. Are we all Kenyans? Will we remain this way? And for how long? For how long? No wonder the anger, no wonder the frustration. It may just look odd, Madam Speaker, but I don't want to say it. But sometimes we feel like joining them because of the frustration, because of, feeling you are treated like less of Kenyans, less deserving, children of a lesser God, because we must beg and beg. And the sad part is some of us, when we go back to our communities, we are told, lakini si nyinyi ndio serikali. I don't know how to answer. Sisi ndio serikali? But some of these fruits are too high up for us to reach and bring them down. Can't bring a road, can't bring power, can't bring a hospital, can't bring nothing, Madam Speaker. And so, Madam Speaker, let me just say, besides the fact that some projects receive money and don't get completed because of, and in Tharaka Nithi, Madam Speaker, we were told it is the ministry that is doing this project. It's not the county government that was doing this project. It's a ministry. The ministry has the engineers. The ministry has all the experts on board. It's a ministry that is getting money from the exchequer. So why are these projects not completed? Sometimes we blame the counties when we actually shouldn't. Sometimes it's just good for us to get, to know where does the buck stop. Who is this that is not moving when they should move? Who is this who is not doing when they should be doing, Madam Speaker? Madam Speaker, let us all listen and open our eyes, open our ears to what these young Kenyans are saying. What these young Kenyans are saying, they don't know who is Maasai, they don't know who is Kikuyu, they don't know who is Kalenjin, they don't know who is Luo, they don't know who is Kamba, they don't know who is nobody, they don't know who is Christian or Muslim. What they know is that they are Kenyans who should be enjoying services from us, from a government that they have elected. If they don't, they'll smoke all of us out of this town, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, actually, today I tried to post something in a family page. And the kind of response I received from my own child, I was like, hey, wait, it's not me. And I was being told, fix NHIF. Fix the public hospitals, employ the interns. I don't know, do what? And I'm like, I wish I could. I'm not the one who does that. But, my friend, the kind of things we are being told, even in our houses, and I'm sure, Madam Speaker, you are being told the same thing. I know we are all going through it. We have these children in our houses and they are telling us, Madam Speaker. I was telling them, hey, wait, me, I just need a few more years in active public life, and I dash to go take care of my cows. And we leave Nairobi to you. But, Madam Speaker, before then, now that we are the ones here, let's fix the situation, Madam Speaker. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Mwinyi Haji Mohamed Faki.